Tokyo, Japan announced 132.6 billion yen (0.2 billion) in aid to Bangladesh on Wednesday that will go toward economic development, a high-speed railway and other projects. The assistance, announced during a visit by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, also will go to Japanese companies doing business in Bangladesh and will support efforts to boost energy efficiency throughout Bangladesh, the Foreign Ministry said in a statement. Hasina, who is beginning a third consecutive 5-year term, expressed thanks to Prime Minister Shinzo Abe following a signing ceremony at his official residence in Tokyo. She told reporters she welcomed Abe's promise that Japan will stand by Bangladesh as her nation seeks to join the developed world by 2041. Abe said the leaders had a meaningful exchange on various issues, including Hasina's continued support for Japan's opposition to North Korea's nuclear weapons program. Bangladesh and Japan also reiterated their agreement to work together against terrorism, Abe added. Abe held a dinner Wednesday in honor of Hasina, who arrived Tuesday and leaves Friday. Related slideshow, news and pictures provided by photo services. A cobbler makes traditional kusa shoes ahead of the Eid al-Fitr festival marking the end of holy fasting month of Ramadan, in Karachi, Pakistan, on May 28, 2019. U.S. President Donald Trump is escorted by Japan's Emperor Naruhito during a welcome ceremony at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo, Japan, on May 27, 2019. Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, receives Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan Abdul Rahman of Sudan, the presidential airport in Abu Dhabi, UAE on May 26, 2019. Plastic bags seen hanging on branches during a protest called March of Plastic Bags outside the Kiev City Hall in Kiev, Ukraine, on May 26, 2019. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, finance advisor to Prime Minister Imran Khan, gestures during a press conference, next to Special Assistant to the Prime Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Firdaus Ashiq-Awin, in Islamabad, Pakistan, on May 25, 2019. Venezuela's opposition leader and self-proclaimed interim president Juan Guaido greets supporters at a rally in Carora, Venezuela, on May 25, 2019. Christian Orthodox believers demonstrate near the Romanian Orthodox Patriarchy headquarters in Bucharest, Romania, on May 25, 2019, during a protest against the upcoming visit of Pope Francis to Romania, scheduled from May 31 to June 2. Worshippers pray during the holy fasting month of Ramadan in front of the Kaaba, the cubic building at the Grand Mosque, in the holy city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia, on May 25, 2019. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, and Member of Parliament Julius Chan, attend an event in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, on May 26, 2019. O'Neill announced his resignation, making way for Julius Chan to return as Prime Minister, local media reported. Migrants line up to get on a police bus after they disembarked from an Armed Forces of Malta patrol boat at its base in Marsam Exit Harbour, Valletta, Malta, on May 25, 2019. People demonstrate against a possible legislation reigning in the Supreme Court which could grant Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu immunity from prosecution if he faces corruption charges. In Tel Aviv, Israel, on May 25, 2019. A right-wing protest on the streets of Dortmund, Germany, on May 25, 2019. Relatives of prisoners killed during clashes at a jail in Nicaragua, Venezuela, wait outside a hospital on May 25, 2019. At least 29 prisoners were killed and 19 police personnel wounded in clashes on May 24 as special forces tried to stop a massive prison break. People walk in a market in front of a banner of Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Cairo, Egypt, on May 24, 2019. Iraq's President Barham Saleh, meets with Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif in Baghdad, Iraq, on May 25, 2019. Sri Lankan army personnel carry out a special cordon and search operation 5 weeks after the Easter bomb attacks in Mutegoda, Sri Lanka, on May 25, 2019. Iraqi Kurdish Peshmerga officers take part in the graduation ceremony in the Kurdish town of Soran, Iraq, on May 25, 2019. People take part in the March for Life, 4th annual anti-abortion march, in Zagreb, Croatia, on May 25, 2019. Zimbabwe's President Emerson Mnangagwa arrives for the swearing-in ceremony of Cyril Ramaphosa in Pretoria, South Africa, on May 25, 2019. People attend a protest against Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić and his government in Belgrade, Serbia, on May 25, 2019. Latvian Prime Minister Artūrs Krišjānis Kariņš casts his vote during the European Parliament election in Riga, Latvia, on May 25, 2019. A yellow vest protester walks past riot police officers in Paris, France, on May 25, 2019. Yellow vest protests are taking place for the 28th consecutive week to challenge President Emmanuel Macron's economic policies. Presidential candidate Alberto Fernandez of the Unidad Ciudadana Citizen Unity gestures to supporters during a rally in Merlo, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on May 25, 2019. A man arrives to vote in the European Parliament election at a polling station in Rome, Italy, on May 26, 2019. Mountaineer Kamirita Sherpa, who broke his own world record for the most Everest summits, waves towards relatives and media after arriving at Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu, Nepal, on May 25, 2019. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, 4th L, meets Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, C, in Islamabad, Pakistan, on May 24, 2019. People marched towards Plaza de Mayo protesting police violence that killed 4 teenagers in San Miguel del Monte, Buenos Aires Province, Argentina, on May 24, 2019. Sadiq al-Kaheli, L., the interim Speaker of the Libyan Parliament, visits the headquarters of the House of Representatives after it was targeted by a rocket in Tripoli, Libya, on May 24, 2019. Bangladeshi garment workers demonstrate in Dhaka, Bangladesh, on May 24, 2019. Different garments workers' organization staged a demonstration to demand salary increases and a festival bonus. Before Eid al-Fitr, students protest President Jair Bolsonaro's environmental policies in front of the National Congress in Brasilia, Brazil, on May 24, 2019. Russia's Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev, L., and Belarus Prime Minister Syar Hirumas shake hands during a meeting in Moscow, Russia, on May 24. U.S. President Donald Trump leaves the Oval Office to speak to the media before boarding Marine One for Japan at the White House in Washington, D.C., U.S., on May 24, 2019. Worshippers attend the third weekly Friday sermon and prayers during the holy month of Ramadan at a mosque in Khartoum, Sudan, on May 24, 2019. UN High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi speaks during an interview with AFP in Yangon, Myanmar, on May 24, 2019. Student protesters hold up placards and shout slogans during the Global Strike for Future demonstration aiming to spark world leaders into action on climate change near the Cabinet of Ministers in Kiev, Ukraine, on May 24, 2019. Czech Prime Minister Andrej Babiš casts his ballot during the European Parliament election at a polling station in Prague, Czech Republic, on May 24, 2019. Venezuelan opposition leader and self-proclaimed interim President Juan Guaido speaks during plenary to present his National Reconstruction Project country plan in Caracas, Venezuela, on May 24, 2019. Security officials examine the site of a blast at a mosque on the outskirts of Quetta, Pakistan, on May 24, 2019. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif meets Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi in Islamabad, Pakistan, on May 24, 2019. Iraqi followers of Shiite Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr wave national flags and raise protest signs against involvement in any conflict between Iran and the United States in Baghdad, Iraq. On May 24, 2019. Croatia's Prime Minister Andrej Plenković gives a speech during the last pre-European elections meeting of the European People's Party in Munich, Germany, on May 24, 2019. Lithuanian presidential candidate, economist Gitanas Nausėda and his wife Diana Nausėda arrived to cast their ballots during an early vote, 2 days ahead of the second round of presidential election, in Vilnius, Lithuania, on May 24, 2019. Smoke plumes billow following reported Syrian government forces bombardment in the southern countryside of the largely jihadist-controlled region of Idlib, Syria, on May 24, 2019. Muslims gather after Friday noon prayers to remember the victims of Sri Lanka Easter bombings and to protest against the terrorist group who is responsible for the suicide attacks at Masjid Yusufia Mosque in Negombo, Sri Lanka, on May 24, 2019. Turkish Youth and Sports Minister Mehmet Muharrem Kasapoglu and Serbian Sports Minister Vanja Udovičić hold a press conference after their meeting in Belgrade, Serbia, on May 24, 2019. Pope Francis meets H.E. Sveta Valcheva Karayanchova, President of the National Assembly of Bulgaria, in Vatican City on May 24, 2019. Dacian Cholos, former Romanian Prime Minister and EU Commissioner for Agriculture, representing the 2020 USR Plus alliance, addresses a European Parliament elections rally in Bucharest, Romania, on May 24, 2019. Members of Jewish communities rebury the remains of Jews killed by the Nazis at the Severnoye Northern Cemetery, in Brest, Belarus, on May 22, 2019. The remains of hundreds of prisoners of a former Jewish ghetto were discovered on a construction site. Authors Mario Vargas Llosa and Luis Alberto da Cuenca attend Nobel Prize Dialogue Madrid 2019, The Future of Aging, organized by Ramon Arraices Foundation in Madrid, Spain, on May 22, 2019. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, India's Minister of External Affairs Sushma Swaraj and Pakistan's Minister for Foreign Affairs Shah Mahmood Qureshi attend a meeting of the SCO. Shanghai Cooperation Organization Council of Foreign Ministers in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, on May 22, 2019. A man walks past the site of an airstrike on a market in the town of Ma'man, Syria, on May 22, 2019. At least a dozen people were killed and 18 others wounded in overnight strikes, according to the Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Demonstrators clash with police forces in Tanah Abang wholesale market in Jakarta, Indonesia, on May 22, 2019, as part of protests rejecting the results of the 2019 presidential election. Japan has been wary of what it sees as security and economic threats from neighboring China and has been courting other nations in Asia as well as the US and Europe. This week alone, Abe is meeting with leaders of the Philippines, Cambodia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore and Laos in addition to Bangladesh. He just finished hosting a 4-day visit by U.S. President Donald Trump, which ended Tuesday. Hasina has visited 5 times before, as Prime Minister and opposition leader. Promoting trade between Japan and Bangladesh is important for both sides, with Bangladesh importing mostly steel, autos and machinery from Japan, and Japan importing clothing products and jute. Japanese imports from Bangladesh have quadrupled compared to 2009 levels. Japanese companies setting up shop in Bangladesh are also growing, mostly in textiles and manufacturing. Japan has welcomed Bangladesh's support for its wish to become a permanent member of the UN Security Council, as well as for its position on nuclear weapons. Hasina won an overwhelming victory in December elections. The opposition alliance is demanding new elections, saying the polls were rigged, an allegation the Election Commission and Hasina have rejected. More than a dozen people were killed in election-related violence on the day of the polls, and the election campaign was undermined by allegations of arrests and the jailing of thousands of Hasina's opponents. Authorities said the arrests and the jailing were not politically motivated.